Here's the fascia detail. I'm supposed to be doing a job, possibly. There's a house where the tree fell on this right here and it kind of wrecked the roof a little bit. So now the owner wants me to come up with a way to stabilize this. So this is kind of the shape of the house as is, the existing house. Shape of the roof, just two gables with a little porch. And right now it just has like some kind of 3/4 inch sub fascia nailed on, and there's not really a good connection here. And so back where the tree fell on it, it's just sagging and falling off the roof. So we had kind of gone over and talked about it, and he's thinking that he wants the corbels. We came up with the corbels. He thought that was a good idea, which I think it's a good idea too. It's better than what's there, and it's going to sturdy up this where the tree hit it. So right now we're thinking corbels on both sides to make it look uniform, even though this side has not been damaged. But in addition to the corbels, as on option one, as we discussed, I'm planning on putting a piece of 2x8 sub fascia. So the existing rafter tails, if you remember from the house as is, they're just 2x4s, like a standard 2x4 rafter with that bird's mouth cut on the inside of the wall, like what's standard, which gives you a pretty weak rafter tail, in my opinion, but that's how they did it in the old days. So what I'm looking at, in addition to this 2x8 sub fascia, which that now measures 7 1/4, because a 2x8 7 1/4, and that now measures an inch. Why does it say 2 1/4? It's not supposed to say 2 1/4. It's supposed to say inch and a half. But anyway, I probably just drew the drawing wrong. But what I'm getting at is, in addition to this 2x8 sub fascia, I also want to reinforce these tails. That way there's more nailing surface instead of me just trying to hang a 2x8 off of a existing 2x4 rafter tail. I would like to put another block on the bottom of these. This is just a 2x4 right here. It's supposed to be 3.5, but it says 3 9/16. Just another 2x4 block on the bottom, and then I have more nailing surface. Okay, so then I think we discussed putting corbels on the front just to keep the curb appeal the same. I don't remember, but maybe the only corbels go on the back where that weak spot was. But anyway, that's a pretty good idea with the 2x8 sub fascia, because then when he mounts the rain gutter on, he can mount it lower, and that way all the sliding snow and ice and everything's not going to rip off the rain gutter, because I don't have it drawn in as a metal roof, but this is a metal roof and there's no snow stops, and so that snow is going to come racing down and rip those gutters off. So I think it's a good idea to put the 2x8 on and get the gutters lower. So anyway, there's option one. Something I thought about was, if we just kind of updated the look of the house, we were kind of thinking, maybe not thinking, but I think I mentioned soffit. And now that I start getting into this design more, I kind of like the soffit design, and here's why. Because when I hide this soffit, then you can see how the framing would be right here, and that block's not supposed to be there, but you could see how this framing would be, and this would in fact have a block right here like this. If I took the soffit nailer from the house and I made that a 2x6, then what I could do is I could run that 2x6 all the way out here to this fascia where it's sagging. I mean, of course, it's not sagging on the front, but it is sagging on the back. So I just started drawing this on the front. And I think if this soffit was installed here, then we could use that nailer to hold up the fascia right here on this end where the tree damaged it. So that's kind of why I started drawing it like this. I didn't want to put too much time into this other option and draw it all the way through the whole house, and I kind of need to do some editing here. But anyway, my point being, I can't really draw it all while I'm recording it, but the point being is this 2x4 or this 2x6, the framing like that, when I do that, that framing right there is going to hold up the fascia on this end. And so then if everything gets wrapped with soffit all the way around the whole house, then you don't have any exposed eaves and trying to get up there and paint underneath there, this soffit. You just paint that flat surface. So that is another option. Of course, that's way more expensive. You know, it might be 2 or 3 times the cost of option 1. So maybe that's not what the client is wanting, but I just thought I'd put that out there. So anyway, we'll keep you posted and decide which option we go with. And even if we go with option 1 here, then I'm going to have to get up there and cut into these rafter tails that extra 3/4 of an inch, so that when the subfascia goes on, it goes on in the same spot where this other thin subfascia was that's not doing anything. So I hope that clarifies, and thank you for watching the video.